Welcome to the Spartan Boxing Radio Show. This is Dave.
We're back.
With quarreling that with this COVID lockdown, he can't decide who he loves more.
Hola.
Jamal Charlo. And Joey, our resident coronavirus draft dodging expert. He is 2-0 and
undefeated.
Undefeated. We're going to be talking today about the fight coming up this Saturday, the 15th of October on ESPN, not on pay-per-view, on ESPN. Fight between Vasiliy.
Congratulations.
Free boxing
and Teofimo Lopez for the undisputed lightweight championship of the world. All the belts are on the line. Every single one of them is on the line, and I think it's going to be a good fight, but we're going to break it down. So let's talk start right off. Let's talk about their last fights real quick. For Lomachenko, his last fight was against Luke Campbell in a fight where Luke Campbell gave him a good fight. He came to fight. He came to try. He was just outmatched, but he tried his heart out. He never stopped trying. What did you think about that fight, Joey?
That was last August. God, it's been over a year.
That was a year ago, man. Yep.
That's important.
It is, and you know, he was dominant in the fight. I think he won just about every round.
Yeah.
But what I think about most is, you know, at his age, what is he, 32 now?
He is 32.
32. These long layoffs, we always talk about these PBC fighters that they go through this a lot. And we used to point out Danny Garcia. We used to point out other guys, even Spence at times has been, you know, somewhat inactive. But they were always younger, you know. At 32, I don't know if that throws a monkey wrench in there. But he's always been the professional that he is, and I don't think it'll affect him. I don't know. I mean, I give Teofimo a shot in this. I always thought that. I always thought this kid was good, and I know Corley's going to question that, but I'm expecting a really good fight.
Corley, what did you think of the Campbell fight with Lomachenko?
To be honest with you, I thought Lomachenko dominated him. I mean, everybody's saying that it's a good fight. He dominated him. Once it looked like Lomachenko first had trouble, I guess, with the range, you know, because he is shorter. He has short arms. Luke Campbell's a little bit rangy, right? A little bit longer. Once he figured that out, he got his angles right. I thought he dominated him. I wasn't having much expectations for Luke Campbell. He's a good fighter. He's a solid fighter.
He's not on that level, though.
Not the quality of Lomachenko. Even though he has pedigree, wasn't Luke Campbell a gold medalist?
Luke Campbell was
he's an Olympian. He was a gold medalist.
That's correct.
So I mean, he can fight. He knows how to navigate himself around the ring, but I mean, not to the quality of Lomachenko. I didn't think he had much of a chance going in, and it looked like by about round 3, it was just a matter of time to me.
Now that fight happened in late August. It was at the end of August. You could say September, but the fight that was supposed to happen next was with Teofimo Lopez, and that fight, because of coronavirus, got canceled, and that's why we're a year later, where Lomachenko hasn't had any fights. He's been inactive for that period of time. Has that affected him? We'll find out about that. Now, for Teofimo Lopez, his last fight, Joey and I went to it. It was the fight where Lopez in December in New York City fought Richard Comey for the title that Teofimo Lopez has. Right? I picked Comey. I was picking Comey. in that fight.
I was not.
Was going to match him, and I was picking him because of his of Teofimo Lopez's instability. It was family issues, and
still has it.
And he still.
I forgot about that.
But he proved me wrong. He was sharp. He caught, and this is going to be very important later on when we break down this fight. He caught Richard Comey with a really nice left check hook, and then, I mean, just clocked him. Just
great. The straight right was just on the button.
I don't even understand how Comey didn't break his knee, the way it bent and he fell down into the ground. Like my, grandpa,
can I ask a question real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Can I please ask a question?
What's your question?
Was Teofimo Lopez sharp? Like what did that fight even tell you about Teofimo? Let's be real. Let's tear the meat off the bones, man. Let's get down to the nitty gritty.
I'm actually going to agree with you and say
Teofimo Lopez.
I watched it today. Let me just interject here. I watched the fight again today because I wanted to see, if I missed some, because we watched it live, and I think I watched the highlights, but I never really watched the fight again, and it was only 1.5,
2 rounds.
Yeah. But I did think he looked sharp at least on TV. He looked sharp. He was, he was catching Comey with right hands right from the get-go. He was catching Comey with left hooks. He was hitting Comey with body shots. And then the last shot, I mean, the timing was there. That's what I saw in this
okay.
Comey in just 1.5, 2 rounds, whatever it was. So I do believe that he was sharp in that fight.
Now, let me ask this.
Okay.
Because if we're going to analyze a fight of this magnitude, right? You said Teofimo Lopez, he looked sharp, he looked good. But remember, he was fighting Richard Comey. Richard Comey is the dude who went life and death with Robert Easter Jr. I mean, how good is that win? I really want to know. Because if we're talking about Lomachenko, right? We're talking about, even though I'm not a huge fan of his, we're talking about a fighter literally who is elite and of the highest order. Do you really, based on the performance from Richard Comey, do you really give Teofimo a chance outside of a puncher's chance to beat Lomachenko? Are y'all serious?
I do. And I agree with you that maybe the Comey fight didn't tell us a lot, because if you look at Comey's resume, I mean, who has he fought? You said Robert Easter Jr. Robert Easter Jr. never panned out the way people thought. He beat Beltran. Beltran's been through the mill. Beltran has 7 losses before that fight. You know what I mean? I mean, his resume isn't good enough to make you think that he was at the top of the food chain, let alone at the top of that division. So I expected Teofimo to beat him, and he beat him probably a lot quicker than I thought he would, and that's because he was sharp. That just told me that Comey never seen anything like Teofimo. It still makes me wonder, what is Teofimo? Because I haven't seen him struggle except against, what was that Japanese kid's name? What the hell was his name?
Tenchi or
Nakatani. He went the distance with Nakatani, and he didn't look good for good spurts of that fight.
Yeah, he didn't look good in that fight.
And it's the only time I've seen him look bad. And it's like, maybe the guy's taller, he's got reach, he just threw different disadvantages at him, where Teofimo had to find his way through the fight. And he had good moments in the fight too, but he struggled, and people gave him some shit for that. I still think Teofimo is the goods. I don't think it would be hyped the way it is if he wasn't. And it's a unification fight, so at least the hype will live up to what people are making this fight out to be. As far as the fight goes, I mean, like we said, there's a big age gap. I think it's 9 years. There's all this time off. It's only been about maybe 9 months, 10 months for Teofimo, and for Loma, we're going on 14 months. And he's the older guy. So
the physical attributes of these two guys. Well, Teofimo Lopez obviously is the bigger guy.
He's an inch taller, and he has 3 inches of reach.
But he is also naturally bigger than Lomachenko. Lomachenko is a smaller guy who's moved up in weight classes. Teofimo Lopez, you could say he's a natural 140. I think maybe if he moves up to 147, he could hang in power, but I don't know if he'd be able to manage the 147 fighters yet. And he does have a reach advantage of about 3 inches over Lomachenko. So
and that gave Lomachenko problems with Linares. He got dropped. Sure. Linares is the bigger, taller, longer guy.
Mm-hmm. Right. So that's exactly right.
Here's the issues that I have with Lomachenko. And Lomachenko, number one, has moved up, like I said before, in weight. So he's fighting bigger guys. Teofimo Lopez, 135. He's fighting. I think he could do 140, but I don't think he could ever do 147. But he's at 135 now. I misspoke before. But here's the thing with Lomachenko. Lomachenko is moving up. He's fighting a guy who has very good power, who has very good timing, very good speed, very good reflex, who's young on top of all that, and who, to me, looked sharp in the last fight. Lomachenko, watching
10 months ago.
Well, 10 months ago, okay? But I think that they're going to take this fight seriously enough that he'll be sharp again for this fight. With Vasiliy Lomachenko in the fight that I was watching today, I watched the Linares fight, for example. I noticed certain things about that he does, and he does get lazy at times in there when he's on offense. He does drop his hands because he trusts in his reflexes. He trusts in his feet. He trusts in his ability to get out of the way, but he does get lazy in there. And I noticed something very interesting, and is that Lomachenko has a very bad habit of, feinting over to the right while he's fighting. He'll feint to the right. Well, he's a lefty, right?
Mm-hmm.
He'll feint to the right, and he's planted with both feet, but he'll also move his head forward. He'll lean forward and feint to the left, and he lifts his back foot up. And that is right in the range of the left check hook of Teofimo Lopez that he landed really well on Comey. Go back and watch that fight, and you'll see he caught Comey, dead in the face with that shot real quick. I don't think that would be enough to out Lomachenko. I would think that it would get him off balance and get him on the ground, and that would create some issues, because then he'd be behind the 8 ball. He'd have to, come and gain more rounds to make up for a knockdown. Also on the inside.
Wait, let me ask a question. Do you think Lomachenko gets careless when he knows he can?
Yes.
That's going to be the question, but here's the thing also.
He could take his foot off the gas when he knows he's in complete control, and then, fool around.
Plenty
of all-pro, all-star. Doesn't matter what sport they're in. When they know they got their guy, they got their guy, and they'll clown around. They do it in boxing all the time.
2 trainers in this fight who have big egos, and 2 fighters in this fight that have big egos, and this is going to be a chess match in a way too. They're gonna try to set traps. They're gonna try to trick the guy into coming in, and it's gonna be more of a chess match too, in the sense that maybe Teofimo Lopez will try to make Lomachenko think that he's not gonna hurt him, or it's okay to come in, and draw him in and set that trap, and then catch him in the inside and trade with him. I think that Teofimo Lopez has the best opportunity is trading right when, shooting punches right when Lomachenko is shooting punches. Because he's Lomachenko is literally wide open when he's in the inside and he's trying to, land those shots. His hands aren't always where they need to be holding the phone.
Let me look. The only thing that I see beating Lomachenko, and to me, you need to have superior boxing. And I'm talking about discipline, literal discipline. Do you think that Teofimo has the discipline to stick to a game plan, not get careless? And to be honest with you, if this is a firefight, if this is a high speed chess match, firefight, they're going back and forth, Teofimo's going to get knocked out and he's going to get drugged through the mud. I'm talking about make the fight boring. Jab, grab. So. Yes, that is the only way I see Lomachenko losing. You muck the fight up, you make it boring, rough him up a little bit.
And that's not Lopez's style. He's not going to do that.
No fireworks, none of that. I'm talking about win. Get your points and get out of there. Does he have that discipline?
You're saying like what Salido did.
You know what? But he's learned from that Salido fight. So, and that was, to be honest with you, it was a dirty fight, but that was actually a good fight too. But does he have the discipline when he gets hit? When Lomachenko was going up and down, moving all around, hitting him in the body and then hitting him in the head. Does he have the discipline to be like, all right, back to the drawing board, jab, jab. When he comes in, grab him, rough him up. I told you, he needs to make the fight boring. That is really the only way that I see him winning. Other than that, I really don't know. I don't know what he can do. This dude, you were talking about egos. He's young, flashy. That's gonna, if that gets the better of him, if his personality starts coming out in the ring, he is gonna get punched up and drugged through the mud.
All right. So one of the things we were going to talk about was.
Hang on. We have to talk about the what we think who's going to win the fight.
I know. That's what I'm getting to.
All right.
We're talking about strengths and weaknesses. Their record's basically the same. He's 15-0. Lomachenko's 14-1 with that controversial loss to Salido. So as far as pro experience goes, it's about the same. Lomachenko's got the extensive amateur record, amateur career. So, but, the amateurs are the amateurs, and you hear that all the time from people. So we'll leave that out. Basically, they have the same amount of pro experience.
Loma has fought much better fighters than and
Loma has also fought more rounds.
Yes.
Right.
Rounds. So, I just because I watched it today also, there is a rift, like David pointed out, in the Lopez camp with him and his father. And he says that his father got caught up in a lot of the boxing world. He says, sometimes I wish he would just be my father. I don't know if that play. Yeah, it's like he's only my trainer full time. And it's always my son.
Oscar and his dad, when they were having those issues back in the day. And Oscar was always crying on camera about his dad not loving him or something. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I mean, Teofimo's literally crying on camera and saying, I wish my dad would just be my dad. And I don't know if that, plays out in training camp or on fight night. But it's not good. I mean, we know what happened with Nonito Donaire and his family. They had a falling out. They didn't like the girl he married. Teofimo just got married. Supposedly, it's the same type of situation. He bought a house and moved to Arkansas. He moved away from Brooklyn.
We didn't.
So, huh? What?
Group meeting.
I didn't hear you.
Go ahead. I said we didn't like the woman Nonito married.
No, but neither did Nonito's parents.
Right.
So there was a rift there, and his career got sidetracked for a little while. he tried to go on his own. He tried to go without his dad, and he got schooled against Rigondeaux, and he kind of got off track. And then he's made the comeback. The fight with Inoue was insane, one of the best fights of last year.
Yeah,
but we're talking about Teofimo right now. This thing aired 2 days ago, and he's crying about his father. And that's his head trainer.
That's what I'm telling you. I don't trust these guys. It could be a setup.
Those Hondurans, you never know. I believe it to be true because I heard this a while ago about them not really, being fans of who he chose to marry. And then supposedly he bought a big house in Arkansas and he left the family behind in Brooklyn. And supposedly his father. Look, if you want my take, I think Lopez gives him a hell of a fight. He might even drop Lomachenko, but I think Teofimo, just the inexperience will get him in the end. And I think Loma will win a very close, maybe even a controversial decision. I think a lot of people might even think that Lopez wins because of a knockdown. But I'll take Loma super close. And I was unsure, but now that I'm starting to put all the pieces together, I'll take Loma. UD.
Corley.
This is, man, I'm really, really just.
You said KO. You said KO. So you're gonna have to tell us.
I'm so shocked at Joey's take on this. Look, it's so crazy that you said all of these things about Teofimo, and and then pick it as controversial. And look, man, this dude is gonna get schooled. Okay. He's gonna get schooled. All of the stuff that you said, and this has been documented. He's having riffs with his family, crying on camera. The last person that you want to fight, going in there with some sort of distractions, is Vasiliy Lomachenko. Literally, if you're going from the top down, this dude is the definition of stability, the definition of discipline, the definition of hard work. This dude is always in shape. He does insane workouts. He does like little mental gymnastics workouts. His workouts.
I don't think Teofimo lacks that either.
Listen. What's your prediction? Let's
man. Around 8, round 9, Lomachenko stops this dude, man, and I just think he's gonna get washed. To be honest with you.
Well, I'm gonna give you my prediction. I'm gonna go against the grain. I'm going to pick Teofimo Lopez with a
out of here.
Fulminating knockout. Hey, listen, there's got to be some dissent in this group at some point.
Usually it's from Corley.
Yep.
I know, right? Teofimo Lopez is gonna take the belts. He's gonna take all the belts. I think that this inactivity by Lomachenko is going to affect him. I think
it's possible. Maybe if this rip with his family and there's no distraction in training camp, if that doesn't play out the way the media is making it look to play out, then yeah, he can win. But I'm going to take Loma. Barely.
Got Loma. Corley's got Loma by KO. I have Teofimo Lopez because he made me look bad in the last fight.
He might make you look bad in this one too.
And we're gonna wrap it up now with this segment of the Spartan Boxing Radio Show. We're gonna be back in a little bit with
to be back.
Charlo Brothers. Corley,
yes sir.
Dynamic duo. So see you guys. See everybody. We'll see you soon.
Scrubs.